All right, let's go continue with step 27. So the first deviation, I guess, that I'm going to have is at this point in time, it's asking to put those two main winches onto the winch stand, and I'm going to hold off on that. And here's the reason. One, I don't have the top of the winch stand put on like we had talked about in that particular step, because of needing to paint the underside. Now, there's a larger and a smaller, I'm going to call it a post, but it's more of a slat. It goes in the correctly sized slots, and they will fit when you, in this particular case, when you put the piece in the hole here. They do slide in there, but it's a little bit of a fit, and once I put that in, you're not going to be painting easily the underside or other parts that are in there. And I could put this on this side, but then this is just to show that it's not that easy to do. And here's yeah, point number 2. Is that to put this in here, which could be done. It's not the right size hole, but you'll notice that this right here is too far down for putting this in this way. Now, and this is the part that gets me, is they have this going in with this rolled this way, the way that they had it set up, but you got to make sure, because these are handed the way that they have them set up. So I don't want to pop that in just yet in here or there, but the point is that I'd have to pop them in. They'd be pretty permanent, and then that would be that. So what I'm going to do is leave these able-bodied pieces out, and we can work on doing that, adding of those winches after the painting is done. Just kind of a heads up as to why I'm doing it. So what I got to do now is fold this photo etch piece and basically turn it into a small box with an edge. This will be super easy, right? Haha. So we've got to fold this triangular piece down, fold this over 90 degrees, and fold this over again. And the way that this is going to be set up is that this folds underneath itself. You need to take a good look at these pieces right here to figure out what's going on, because it's not, I guess I wouldn't say that it is easy to figure out just from looking at it straight up. What I'm gonna do and I'm sorry for the dead space in here. I had a plan for this, and that plan has completely gone out the window, believe it or not. So what I think you need to do is take a look. That needs to go there, like this design right there. And then when you turn it sideways, you're going to see, what I think you're going to see is that piece. But what I'm trying to do is a different form of folding. See, there's the problem with doing it hand folding. You get this round edge to it. You got to do it like with a square edge, like so. But also, one of the things that I'm noticing is that there are two etched areas here, but there's also a little etched race part on the opposite side of this. So what's supposed to be I don't even know what to say. What's supposed to be on the outside and what isn't. I'm going to take this piece right here and fold it right up square like so, just to start with. Hopefully this will give me a few clues. We're going to kind of explore this together. But the only thing else I know is that that should be folded over. But then it comes down to what direction. Do I fold it that way? No, I think I have to fold it in. And that gets to be odd, so we need to put this on the outside, like so. And I kind of am intentionally messing around with this and doing this, I don't know if I want to say wrong, but wrong, because I want to show that you can do your photo etch in different directions, different stages. You know, oh, whoops, I accidentally folded this a little bit too early or something. And you can still get away with folding it up. So we've got this thing folded up, I'd say, pretty nicely. It's not quite, oh, not quite square there for a second, then I kind of fumble fingered it, but essentially I've got it folded up like this. Now I don't know if that's quite right, because it looks like what I'm supposed to do is fold it the other direction. Well, it almost looks like I folded this backwards completely, because that edge right there looks like it goes up against that. Yeah, that's how that's set up. It's going to take some stuff. So I've almost got to fold this. So, okay, so what happens when you fold things and it turns out you've done it completely the opposite way of what you need to do? Well, the first thing you do is you go in and unfold it as best you can using the largest, widest, or easiest tool. And this is not going to be perfect. I'm just going to tell you right now. It's going to look ugly. Just be careful not to rip or destroy it, or put any unnecessary kinks in it. The idea being that we're gonna flatten it out by putting it underneath here. And we just tighten this up, and this should take a lot of those bends out. See? Now, if that gets bent up like that and that and that, which is what it looks like, got to do this different way. because all those bends there are normally the bend you bend into them, not away from them, and I can't see them. So if I'm going to do this that way, I've got to do this right there and then bend it up if I'm right. No, that's not right. Got to bend it up that way. How am I going to do that, you ask? I want to be able to see the bend line, so I'm going to bend it down rather than up. This is what takes some of these steps quite a bit longer than what you would expect. And then I'm going to use the nice flat edge of this and just fold it over. So you get that nice and flat there, right on the line. Now I got to fold that up. And I should be able to do that. Now what I'm trying to do is line up the edge of this for the folding with the edge of this triangle, because I do not want to bend it too far out of line. That would be bad. It puts a gap in there. So then that's folded up that way. So now we've got it looking a lot more like what we see on the piece. And you know, I didn't know. We were trying to do the right thing. What I'm going to do here, just to make sure I've got everything set up and square the way I want, I'm going to put that in there like that and just tighten it down. Make sure everything is nice and flat and conformed. Now this piece, since I've got this set up like this, that gets folded the other way. So technically I could just put this like this and fold that piece up. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. I'd rather fold that up. So how do I go about doing that? Well, the nice thing is I have an open edge on this side, if I can make use of it. What I'd like to do, and I don't really have that capability, is to slide this in somewhere and be able to fold it up. But it looks like I can't really do that because of course I have that edge there and all these nice smaller parts to where I could do that. You know, I could clamp that down there, but I can't fold this up. Just so you kind of see the conundrum. I appreciate the fact that a lot of people have trouble with photo etch. So what I'm going to do is on this flat part right here, I'm going to put that in to be bent. Now this isn't going to let me bend it all the way, but this will let me get it started. Now I can get it almost all the way. Now the reason I say it is that there's this flat edge on the front of the folding tool, and actually I bent it the wrong way because that's got to go the exact opposite way. So this can be difficult for anybody. I fully appreciate those people who have a tough time with photo etch. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to find the part that just fell on the floor. Here we go. And I'm going to raise this up like so. Put this in, squish it down. Make sure that that's nice and square and flat. I'm going to check my other parts here and make sure that everything is nice and square and flat. Just to make sure. And now I've got to bend it the other way. I just got to do it. So it's going up against the far side here. I've got to just do my best to make sure that that's set up the way I want it. Like so. And got to find a tool, something that will help with doing the bend. I'm gonna go with the forceps here for this, just because I've got to bend it at the base and hope that it bends. And now I can kind of, by putting that, yeah, see it is bending, but it's bending in weird directions because it's got that empty part in the middle. But I believe, yes, it's now bent in general the way that I want. Just work with it. I am hoping that anybody else that builds this kit after me is going to go, oh, okay, I now know that I can do the bends exactly the way that I need them. And then from what it looks like is this right here, by this right there, folds at a 45-degree angle, or a 90-degree angle. So this just folds over that way like it's another part of the side to this. And had I known that earlier, that would have made life a lot easier. But now that we know, the reason being you need to have the hole in the top piece available for later on, because there's a part that goes through it. So there's that, and there's that. But they're not side by side. They're not that. They have a slight overlap, and it's rounded there instead of completely flat. And I wanted it completely flat so that it would be, you can see there it's nice and square, but you can see right here it definitely has a curve. I don't want a curve. Okay, then how do you go and fix that? Well, I want to put it in like this and then tighten it down like that. So that'll help. Now I'm going to take the narrow edge of this tool and push it up against that, and that squares it up better. Now I can't get in everywhere for everything, but there we go. And that's better. That's good. And the main thing with it is that this gets put in right here and it matches up with that shape in this strange way. Like so. And the parts are visible, meaning you have the bolt head and the hole here. And down here you've got the two visible kind of, they're photo etched recessions, little round pieces. Regardless, there it is. A little bit more excitement than I wanted. But it gets the work done. And that's, right now, that's the important part. Put a little glue in. Center this up nice. There we go. So we photo etched, I got this photo etch part on there. I still haven't put the ladder on and don't really want to. I want to see how this is all going to work out, simply because there are some issues. One trick I want to show you, I was not able to find the fine wiring material that I've used on other projects. I'm not sure where I put it. Since I don't know where I put it, I've got to wind stuff, and I've got to wind stuff around this anyways. One of the tricks that I have done in the past, and I do like how this works, is I will take this right here and I've got to wrap it around the spool, and rather than tucking it in and rolling it and it just never seems to quite work right, what I'm going to do is take my nippers and nip this interior piece off carefully. So now that bar has come out, this bar that's in there. Don't want to lose that. Now I have better access to a couple of the different seams in here, so clean this up real quick. Now I don't want to clean up where I did the little bit of where I did the nipping, because then I've got that little bit of material left there when I glue that back on, and it'll all glue together better. But now that I've got that, I can take this rope that came with the kit, which is what I'm using right now, and it's a lot easier to do this. So we'll work on that next time, but I thought I'd give you at least that heads up for what I'm going to do. All right, and I'll see you in part 3.